there, everyone. I'm Chaz here with Board Game Geek. I'm joined today by Frank from the City of Games, and we're going to be looking at the City of Kings, which is a game that I've been waiting for more detail on for a long time. So please indulge me and take it away.
I'm glad to see you got the naming right, because pretty much everyone mixes them up. So it's a marketing ploy, right?
Well, this was our 14th take, so you know.
So the City of Kings is a 1 to 4 player fantasy cooperative adventure game with a very puzzly heart. So this is for people who want a kind of challenging game where it's not about kind of dice rolling, but more about kind of deterministic thinking of how do I use what I found to achieve my goals.
Yes.
So at the start of the game, you're going to take a story card, and there's loads and loads of different stories and scenarios in the game. They're going to tell you how to sell up the game, and then they're going to give you the narrative. And there's about 30 to 40,000 words of narrative in this game that you can play through as you go through the different challenges. So when you start, you lay out your board, and all of these tiles are going to be face down. So they either have the green backs or the orange backs. The orange representing slightly harder areas. And as you start to explore out, you're going to flip them over and discover different things.
So these started like this?
Like that, exactly. So we may have found a lake where we can go fishing, or a mine where we can gather ore. We can find a shop where we can use those resources to trade for equipment cards, which will power up our character.
Excellent.
We might find a quest location where people will give us quest cards and ask us for help. And again, we can either help them, we can ignore them, depends on how we feel and whether we like the person we find.
Excellent.
So
we can judge them all day long.
Exactly. And eventually you're going to find creatures. And in this game, creatures are very different to a lot of games in that they're very, very hard to kill. So in 2 hours, you might only find 6 or 7 creatures.
Oh, really?
And generally they join the turn order. So whoever finds the creature will then be in charge of activating that creature before their turn until the creature has been killed. So what this means is creatures will be placed onto the board and they're just going to roam around. And you might find, we can't kill that creature, so we're going to go over here and ignore it until we've worked out how to use the things we found to overcome that challenge. And every creature you find is going to be completely unique, because when you find them, you're going to take a stat bar, which is going to tell you the basic stats of that creature. And it's also going to tell you how many abilities it has. So this is the first creature, so it has 1 easy green ability. And some map tiles will perhaps give it more abilities. And that means you're going to take tiles out of these bags. So there's a green bag, a yellow bag, and a red bag, and they have different difficulties of ability.
I saw that one's named easy, which...
Exactly. So we've got a nice medium, and potentially the red one's a harder bag.
Oh my.
And as you play through the game, you know, you're going to put your hand in, you're going to take tokens out, and for example, this creature now has the ability to teleport, which means it's now going to be able to teleport across the board. You might find that another creature later on is going to have the ability Poison Bolt, and that means that that creature is now going to shoot poison across the board. As you get further into the game, creatures are going to start to have 5 or 6 different abilities, and there's 50 different ones in the base game, and the expansions add another 20 into the game. So you've got effectively infinite permutations of combinations. And it's very unlikely that even if you find the same stat bar, the creature is ever going to behave the same.
That's one of the things about this game that really excites me.
And this is the thing, so this game is all about, you know, you go out, the map has been set by the story, but you don't know where stuff is, so it's giving you that feeling of going out into this open world, kind of adventuring. You know what's out there, but you don't know where it is. When you find creatures, they're always going to be unique, and they're going to give you different puzzles to solve, and you have to use the layout that you found with how you build your custom characters to then tackle those creatures to achieve your objectives.
Now, is this a player board?
So this is a player character sheet. So this is kind of inspired by kind of D&D character customization. So the idea is you start with basic stats like a minimum health, attack, and heal, and as you play through the game and level up, you'll be able to increase your stats. So if I increase my heal to 3, this simply means if I want to heal myself or you, I restore 3 health. If you're further away from me, then perhaps I'm going to have to increase my range so I can reach further, or I might increase my movement so I can get closer to you. So whilst this looks a little bit overwhelming, it's very much just a basic stat system that you can customize your character as you level up.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Sorry, go on.
And what's this area down here?
So this is your skill tree. So as you level up, you're going to gain stat points to increase your stats, and then you're going to gain skills. At the start of the game, you're going to be putting skill discs as you level up from the bottom row, and then every one you place after that has to be connected to that previous disc. So I might come up here, which gives me 1 health, and now I've got the ability to either choose this ability or I can come to that ability. So you can start choosing different abilities. If I want this one here, then I'm going to have to work my way up.
Neat.
As you work your way up the tree, you're going to be selecting these cards, and there'll be several face up on the table, and you'll put these into the slots, meaning you can choose what stats you want to customize into and build your way up. So this is following kind of a typical kind of MMO kind of skill tree system, where you're customizing your character, and you can only choose one ability from each tier.
Okay.
So from the 12 that are available for each character, you're only ever going to get a combination of 3 in a single session.
Okay. Very elegant way of doing a branching skill tree.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice.
And there's 6 different characters in the base game. There are 7 stories, and there's 12 scenarios. Scenarios take 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Stories take an hour and a half to 3 hours.
Okay.
And now we're releasing continuous print and play content on our website, so you can go and download more scenarios for free. So there's 15 more on there at the moment, and more will be coming out.
So you're continuing to support the player base with
Exactly.
the content.
And we also have kind of expansions which are coming out. So this is just being released alongside with the game. That adds more characters to the game. It adds more stories to the game. We've got the miniatures that get added into the game. So
we didn't even see those.
These miniatures. So the base game comes with the standees, but if you want to have the miniatures, you'll be able to add them in as well.
Excellent. Nice. And just to reiterate, one of the things is that the monsters, this isn't going to be just a bloodbath going across the countryside. You are going to really have to figure out your best strategy to defeat these monsters.
Exactly. You know how much damage you do, you know how far you can reach, you know what the creature can do. It's about how do you overcome that.
Excellent. Cool. Now, I know this went to Kickstarter quite a while ago, so where is it in terms of being available at retail?
So we just released in retail in the last 2 weeks, so at the start of March, and it's available worldwide. We're in 17 different countries, so you should be able to get it from your local store.
Sounds great. Well, thanks so much, Frank.
Cool, thank you.
And hopefully this helped kind of shed some light on the game, and talk to you again soon.